There's some really good news for the Neuralink fans. Neuralink has made some real progress in recent times. In terms of technology, Elon Musk never disappoints the world. There's always something going on in the company. In this video, we'll cover all the recent changes and progress made by the company. Keep watching to find out. In a rare upgrade, Neuralink discussed its brain-computer system interface and highlighted new monkey clairvoyant typing, an emerging surgical robot, and recent advances in the recovery of vision in blind people and restoring sensation and motion in people with paraplegia. Since Neuralink first demonstrated a telepathic game about monkey Pong to us 18 months ago, it appears that advancement has been constant instead of revolutionary. Co-founder Elon Musk and the Neuralink team demonstrated new recordings of Sake, the brain-chipped monkey with the implant to skillfully and precisely control the cursor of a mouse on a monitor, pressing on emphasized text and letters to spell out words and phrases suggested by the researchers. The demonstration was live-streamed. The N1 implant, about the size of a US quarter, is intended to replace a portion of the bearer's skull to be invisible from the outside. It allows for 1,024 streams of two-way communication with the brain and the chip, with 64 small, flexible needle probes that are painstakingly placed into the brain's tissues at specific places. It is completely wireless, even charging. The company unveiled the R1 surgical robot used to install the gadget. According to the firm's vice president of implant, DJ Seo, when the robot successfully identified specific brain regions, the probe insertion process should take about 15 minutes. Then skillfully grip the small probes and poke them through the gloopy brain proxy of a test dummy. Both detachable and upgraded implants will be available. Christine Odabashan, team leads for insertion hardware, walked attendees through the Neuralink implant installation procedure. The company hopes this will enable a single neurosurgeon to perform multiple procedures simultaneously, dealing with the skin, skull, secure dura layer, and other technical duties while delegating the needlework into the brain itself to the R1 robot. The research group is developing a robotic CNC-style cutting machine to manage precise skull cutting without harming the brain. Additionally, the team is developing new subsurface image methods that enable them to operate on the R1 robot without removing the brain's protective dura layer. Many issues would be resolved, not the least of which is that when the outermost layer is taken away, fleshy growths frequently fill the hole and hold to the brain surface, which makes it challenging to remove the implant eventually without causing tissue damage. The instruments that push the nanoscale sensory threads need an extensive redesign to penetrate the dense dura layer and attach the implant without harming any brain tissue. In addition to creating a novel needle that is far thinner than human hair and can penetrate the dense, strong dura, Neuralink's needle design and production team also pushed the limits of their equipment to produce it fast and precisely. The team is mainly focused on vision since it has possible uses beyond only helping those paralyzed telepathically operate their equipment. A sighted person's visual cortex is well known. Neuralink's technology can place electrodes sufficiently deep to read what is happening and provide information straight to the cortex. Theoretically, this may someday imply that the apparatus may receive a signal through a camera and then activate the cortex, giving someone born entirely blind a crude feeling of vision that might advance as the technology advances. The Neuralink team has advanced in this field to some extent. At first, started using brain impulses sent via the Neuralink implant to replace actual flagship lights after training implanted monkeys to redirect their gaze in the path of flashing lights in return for dollops of banana smoothies. Indeed, the monkeys appear to see a real flashing light in the exact location that the brain implant has aimed at. The initial pixel in what will ultimately become a brain chip display that the team thinks will enable people who are blind to see was created by Neuralink, so this is hardly a groundbreaking accomplishment. Even more driving is the next goal, which is recovering motor skills after paralysis. Neuralink wants to use its implants to read motor orders from the brain and subsequently direct them to lower motor neurons that may be able to bypass severe spinal cord lesions and send the messages directly to the muscles. Once more, the team has come close to achieving its objective. The team started identifying which kinds of brain activity convey the motor intents that led to those patterns of electrical impulses in the lower spinal cord by placing the device in the pig's brains and spinal cords. By stimulating the spinal cord to induce, for instance, contractions of muscles that would raise the pig's legs, the scientists could directly stimulate the patients involved for particular motions and reproduce them as well. The team intends to restore feeling by rerouting communications in a different direction towards the brain in addition to motor impulses. More implants in the brain's sensory cortex would be necessary for this. Keeping the devices tiny and versatile enough to be securely implanted in the brain's cortex is one of the main hurdles in developing implantable brain-computer interfaces. Musk revealed that Neuralink had taken strides in miniaturizing its technology in a post on Twitter from February 2021. He claimed that the most recent model of the gadget was approximately the size of a Bitcoin and might be implanted via a relatively simple surgical procedure. Additionally, Neuralink has created a mobile app that enables users to manage their implantable gadgets and track their brain activity. Real-time neural activity visualization and device configuration control are among the capabilities offered by the app. Neuralink has partnered with several universities and research groups to enhance its technology. For instance, the business has collaborated with scientists at the University of California, San Francisco to create methods for implanting the gadgets with minimally invasive surgery. Neuralink organized a virtual meeting on advancements in brain implant technology in November 2020. Speakers from other businesses and academic organizations and researchers from Neuralink gave speeches at the summit. Due to research trials, BCI layouts which have only been linked to a few people have followed paralyzed volunteers to control a wheelchair and convert ideas into voice. However, technological advances are still in its early stages. The Utah Array, a square of rigid silicon with 100-minute projecting needles, is the brain implant that has undergone for most testing. The needles, each roughly a millimeter long, have sensors on their tips that record brain activity. However, the tissue nearby may become damaged due to these rigid devices, eventually affecting their ability to record. On the other hand, the flexible stands connected to Neuralink's implant are one of its breakthroughs. The company's stitching machine-like robot could attach electrodes by piercing them into the brain using a small hole in the skull. It would improve current BCIs that need cumbersome setups and intrusive brain surgery. Additionally, the system transmits brain signals wirelessly as opposed to the majority of BCIs currently in use, which rely on outside cables that link to computer systems from a person's top of the head. While Neuralink may be the most well-known, other businesses also develop brain implants. There are battling issues like safety, durability, and how they can program the implant. Synchron, the New York-based rival business, is conducting tests on a neural implant the size of a matchstick that doesn't involve actual brain surgery. The biopsy-like device is thrust into the brain after being inserted through a tiny neck cut and up via the jugular vein. Based on the preliminary results released by the business in March, the Synchron implant enables 4 people with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, also known as ALS, to carry out online functions including shopping, banking, and email, in a brief trial in Australia. One patient's use of the gadget in December last year allowed BCI to send its first tweet. Since then, the business has implanted a second patient for a US trial. There could be as many as 6 people in that trial. One of the main unanswered intricacies is how long these implants will last in the brain. Having a brain-computer system implanted for over 7 years and a few months, 36-year-old Nathan Copeland placed the record in August. The groundbreaking brain implant developed by Neuralink, which will shortly begin human testing, is intended to treat untreatable disorders like blindness and paralysis. However, the company, established in 2016, applied for approval from the Food and Drug Administration at the beginning of 2022, and the organization rejected the request, according to some employees. Neuralink continues working on the agency's issues a year after the denial. Despite Musk's most recent prediction that the business would obtain FDA human trial permission this spring at an event on November 30th, 3 employees said they were suspicious the company would quickly fix the issues. And that's all for today. What do you think about the progress made by Neuralink? Which advancement intrigued you? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching.